Hey guys, Zach with Wired Customs, and I want to show you a simple trick that I use to keep these early Ford transmissions to seal. One of their biggest issues here is they have these shafts that hold the counter shaft here. When we flip it around the other side, counter shaft, reverse gear shaft. They tend to leak. They tend to leak because there's no gasket, there's no seal or anything that holds them in. Two reasons why they leak. One, you're using the wrong oil. 90 weight oil is not going to cut it. You have to use 600 weight on one of these transmissions. Otherwise, you're going to leak. Now, I know there's been a lot of tests done. 600 weight isn't exactly 600 weight like how it used to be in the 30s and 40s. But if you put in like 120 weight, it's still too thin. I like to use as close as I can get to 600 weight. What I actually use is Max. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. That's just the oil that I prefer. Now, getting a new shaft is always good. When these get worn out and they start having issues, if this shaft starts to spin at all, it messes up this case. Getting a new shaft kind of ensures it's a little bit tighter of a fit. A tight fit on something like this is actually really, really important. If the oil is too thin, it's going to leak out. So what I'm going to do is get my step bit here. You don't have to use a step bit if you have a drill bit that's big enough. But what I'm going to do is actually slightly drill on the case here. Now, when I drill on the case, I use my step bit. So what we're going for is with the step bit is we're not drilling it out any larger. We're just drilling the outside diameter a little bit larger. It gives us a little bit more of a shoulder. So when we go to put these shafts in and we're finished, there's something for silicone to hold on to. We're actually gonna put the shaft in after we build this. Silicone, make sure you degrease it really, really well, of course. And silicone around that shaft. That's going to help it seal a lot better than using 600 weight is also really, really going to help. These early Ford transmissions don't have to leak. You just got to do your due diligence. I always silicone both sides of the gaskets. So the input shaft gasket, I'm going to silicone both sides of that. And I'm also going to pack the input shaft sealer with grease, really thick transmission assembly loop grease. That helps a little bit. Then obviously on the back side, we're kind of playing Russian roulette when you think about modern transmissions and the early Ford style transmission, how the back seals. But I also silicone both the front and back of that gasket. It's going to make a little bit of a mess, but anyone who's put an intake on an engine knows when you put the intake on, you put a bunch of silicone around the back. It makes a little bit of a mess, but it doesn't leak. Also, these output shaft seal bolts here, these are not blind holes. What that means, they go all the way through the case into the oil. Now, if you do not put Permatex on these will bleed out oil as well. And this will actually put oil into your torque tube, which is not a good thing. The input shaft bolts right here, these four, these are also not blind holes. They can leak oil onto your clutch. Make sure you put Permatex on all those bolts when you put them in for the final time. That's what I go for when I rebuild my transmission, guys. I have a bunch of transmission rebuild videos down, up, different years. I have a 36 that I'm about to do next. I just did a 47, so check that out, guys, if you want to watch some transmission rebuild videos. Also on my website, wiredcustomsllc.com, I'll put a link in the description of this video. I sell early Ford transmission parts, so if you're going to rebuild your transmission, watch my videos, use the exact same parts that I do. This will make your rebuild as easy as possible, guys. So thank you for watching. Now that you got this information, go out into the garage and get your shift together.